America. This is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I've got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our Daily Gun Show. Come to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern, and we talk about guns for an hour. And today it is, I just wrote it down, but I don't remember, episode 1200 something. And it's also Cyber Monday. So we have a store called Gear Websites where we have stuff that we make or have created. And that's for one of the ways, that's half of the way we make, well, not quite half, I guess. It's a portion of the way that we make our ends meet as capitalists, and we appreciate everybody who participates in that. And so Cyber Monday is a big day for online organizations, companies, I guess, like us. So we put a bunch of time into making a bunch of collectible stuff and some hopefully useful stuff for people, and people took us up on that and grabbed things, so appreciate that. And one of the ways that we like to have fun with this stuff is we do a pick your free stuff. So we're going to be doing that. We do this show. This is not like your typical show where you got to sit there and no audience and eat popcorn and watch what other people tell you to think. This is a conversation. So you're encouraged to be part of this. Jump in like Woods and Barbecue have here, or use your wiggles and wiggle digits on the touchpad there, or however you get your words into type thing, and be part of the text chat. With that said, I started this show because I was basically packaging up the orders from today so that it would make it a little easier for what we're about to do here, the adventure we're about to partake on. But I kind of lost track of time. I didn't realize it was going to take so long. So I got to pee really bad. So, I see Mystic is out there. I'm just about to package something up for this dude in Oklahoma, and I'm going to put an envelope in there that says for Mystic, so you know that that will be included in there. It'll be stapled so that nobody can be poking around in there and snooping. And don't let anybody say that it fell out of the envelope or was misplaced or it wasn't in there. But anyway, all this being said, I got to go to the bathroom. So I'm leaving it up to Woods and Barbecue to run it for about an hour while I go to the bathroom. Thanks for joining.
Sounds good. How you doing, Woods?
I'm doing great. I had a good day. I got 2 new guns today, so that's always a good day. Very nice.
May I ask what they were?
I went on the cheap end because I'm a big fan of revolvers, and you always hear things about the Rock Island M200s and how they're utter garbage. But then I don't believe people until I actually have it. And for $225, it seems like a pretty solid little gun here. And then the other one I got was the Taurus 605, the 357 snub-nose.
Oh, okay. How do you like that?
I haven't shot either one of them. Probably be a bit before I can shoot either one of them, because where I normally go shoot is covered with snow right now. So I'll figure it out. But I'm probably Christmas break when I get to shoot them. But what's super funny is the Taurus the more expensive gun comes in a cardboard box, whereas the Rock Island comes in a nice plastic case. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah. I would like to get my hand on one of those Rock Islands. I just love revolvers as it is. So
Well, I mean,
whenever I can find a cheap one that is going to be decent, it's even better.
Yeah, I'm under no illusion that I'm going to fire 10,000 rounds for this gun. That's not what this gun is for. This gun is for it's kind of like a high point killer, because shit, for the price of a high point, you can spend $70 more and have a far better gun. At least in my view.
Probably more reliable, just for the simple fact that it is a revolver. But then again, I can't say I've really ever had an issue with a high point when I've shot them. But I've never personally owned one either.
Yeah, I'm not hating on those either, because I have 2 of them. One of them I bought because one of the guys I used to go shooting with was a Marine Rangemaster, and it was super funny just to watch his head spin whenever I pull that out and shoot it, because he hated it. But he's one of those elitist kind of guns.
Yep. I know a lot of people that would hate on high points, and I tell them they're big, ugly, heavy. It's not anything you're going to want to carry, but if it's going to be something that you're going to keep in a nightstand drawer for something that goes bump in the night, perfect. As like every time I've ever pulled the trigger on one, it goes bang, and they just run. I had a buddy that called me up the one day. He's like, so I can't hit the broadside of a barn with this thing. Can you do some work on it? Had gone to school for gunsmithing. So I go and I threw a pop can out at about 20 yards or so. And I pulled up first shot, nailed the pop can, and I turned around. I was like, "It's you, guns."
Yeah, we've all had that. That's funny. But I will say that high points, by definition, are a brick mounted on a squirt gun. But,
absolutely.
But with that blowback and all, they just work. But this Rock Island, I'm liking it. Is it fit and finish wonderful? No, I know what I bought here. I'm not under any illusion this is a Smith & Wesson or a Ruger or something. It's the weird thing is though, if you try to put the cylinder out, if you put any pressure on the cylinder at all, the cylinder won't come out. But you have to do like you're supposed to, push the lever back and then touch the thing. Whereas a lot of us, like with my Ruger SP101, you can start pushing on it and it'll be fine. But is it the greatest gun? No, but ice stage guns, I know we could have a debate about that, but I know that anybody in my house can figure out how to use a revolver.
Like stage guns that are only going to shoot blanks for use on a stage.
I thought we had the whole hour. Anyway, no, just ones that are hidden cleverly in my house, so I know where a gun is if I don't happen to have one. But I know we've debated that before, that other people don't love that. But I don't have any little kids in my house. Like, potentially my cat could get into them, I guess.
Yeah, cats are pretty nefarious. I'd watch them.
Well, on the heavy trigger pull, it'd be really hard for my cat. I'm not putting it past my cat that's named Loki that he is literally the devil. He doesn't care about anything. But
you see that cat that you put a glass on the table and he just stares at you and then just knocks it off and you're like, you son of a gun.
Oh, more than that, we had one on a mantle. It was a full-on potted plant and he knocked it off just in front of us one day. Runs off. The next day, my wife put a different potted plant on there. He knocked that one off too. After that, I'm like, it sounds like the cat won that spot fair and square. Unless he lives outside. Do you have any? What do you guys think about Tauruses in Rock Island, aka Arms Corps?
The only issue I ever had was with Taurus's customer service. But since then, I didn't touch a Taurus after that for probably close to 10 years. I was just like, I'm never gonna touch one of their firearms again because I don't want to deal with their customer service ever again. It was that bad of an experience. But then my cousin had one and he's like, hey, will you shoot this? And I was like, yeah, sure. I really don't want to. But then it kind of renewed my interest in Taurus. And I had an uncle that just got the G2C last year and I really liked that. So yeah, as far as Taurus goes, really liking them again. As far as Rock Islands, I've gotten to shoot one of their 1911s. My buddy bought one in 10 millimeter, and like we were saying about the high point, it runs, it goes bang every time you pull the trigger. I really have no complaints about it. But like you were talking about, I'm really interested in getting my hands on the revolvers. And what I'm most interested in is just how long it will hold time.
Say that last little bit. You wrote about it to the last couple words.
How much it'll hold timing, I think he said. What brand revolver are you talking
about? Arms Corps.
Arms Corps.
What are those?
Well, I can speak to the Taurus thing. That was my first revolver. It was they cloned the Smith & Wessons, just like they did the Berettas. And I sent that on the road with my brother and replaced it. Inner Arms was the importer. from Brazil and picked up a Rossi Model 720 and 44 Special, and then got its twin with the unfluted cylinder about 15 years later. I never had any problem with that Taurus revolver. It was great. It was, for all intents and purposes, a Smith & Wesson 357, like model 69 or 29. Sorry.
Wow, that was a hell of a noise. Yeah, it seems like I mean, I haven't shot either one of them, but you know. Yeah. I kind of like it. I'm a big fan of snubs. I mean, my carry gun is my SP-101. Is that going to change? Probably not. So I like my big steel gun.
The only thing I don't like about the SP-101 that's the only reason I would still choose a GP100 over it. But then again,
You cut out.
Jump back in and out. I think it's your connection's bad or something. I've got a few more here. So if you guys want to kill that discussion or whatever, because I'm also getting the evil eye right now. So I woke her up and she wants to go out, and I ain't gonna get any peace at all. She's staring at me. She hasn't left. Usually she'll stare at me for a little while and leave if I don't do what she wants, but she's giving me the stink eye. So I'm gonna finish this. What's that?
She's in charge, right?
No, she just is being annoying right now. So I'm gonna finish. Wait, hold on. I've got one more. Orange on gray. There. And now this one is done. This was the last one. And now I can go out, and I was just right in the middle of one. I didn't want to go right in the middle. But now barbecue's back in. I felt bad about having barbecue in here with Woods. I felt that was maybe threatening to Woods. But DJ's in here, so like he says, he'll make sure they play nice. I'm going to go let her out, and then we'll get right to it because I know it's late and I don't want people to, oh, shit. Oh, no, I thought that said it was 51 minutes. I'm like, we didn't fart around that long. But that means 51 seconds now that I see that we're only 13 minutes in. So I know some people are probably showing up for the whole extra-ganza. I don't want to keep people up in the middle of the night or all night on a Monday. So I'll shut up. I'm going to finish stacking these things I'm stacking, which is a handful of Wolverine patches. And then I'm going to take the dog out real quick, let you guys finish that thing. And then for the people, the 8 people out there, we'll start doing some extra-ganza. Extravaganza, I don't know what to call it. Whatever. Come up with a good name to call it. I'll be back.
I think extra-ganza works out pretty well for me. Barbecue, are you back on, or the robots got you?
We'll see. I'm not sure.
You're good right now. So you were telling us about the GP100 and what the one reason, like the only reason that you didn't want to commit or something like that. So can you double back on what you're saying?
Yeah, it's just the SP-101's a 5-shot, and I don't know. It when I think about it, I'm like, it's really kind of a dumb reason. You know, is that one shot going to matter? But at the same time, I'm like, it might. But I don't know. I love both guns, the GP100 and the SP-101, but I think for some reason there's just this mental block that keeps me from carrying the SP-101 because of that.
Well, you carry 2 speed loaders, and you've got the equivalent of a full size double stack mag. 15 rounds. That's pretty good. If you got to take a little break in between, the first 5, the second, and the last, you're probably you're having that interruption to your cadence is going to be a way to conserve ammo.
Yeah, but also I don't typically carry 357 either. I'm a 44 Magnum guy.
Got it.
Yeah, I hear you on the extra round. Because that extra round isn't there, it's a much more comfortable gun to carry.
Yeah, I do love the size of the SP-101. It is just so comfortable, but like I said, I just got some sort of dumb mental block about it, and I've never been able to figure out why it's such a hang up for me.
Well, nobody's ever going to gunfight and said, "Damn it, I have too much ammo with me." But realistically, whatever you can't handle in 5, you're not going to handle in 6.
Exactly, and that's the point I would make to people. Yep, I'm saying, but that's the point I would make to people when we're talking about things like this. And when I think about it, I'm like, why don't I take my own advice on it? It bugs me. Like I said, it's just some mental block that I can't get over.
Well, I hear you. So am I being bad by buying guns that aren't made in America? Do we care?
Nope.
Yeah, because I don't really give a rip anymore.
Yeah, me either.
So you can have everything made in
I would
America.
rather have an Italian-made Beretta than a U.S.-made Beretta, actually.
Well, I was wondering, am I safe? Does my Glock talk shit in German to the other guns, and then do my Mossbergs, sound like good old boys or something? Or
it's Austrian, not German. That's a big difference, isn't it?
Yeah, not in distance, but definitely in ideology.
So the Glock sounds like Schwarzenegger.
Yes,
I just thought every 9mm
that'd be awesome.
Topped in Nazi, so I didn't know. My fault.
Oh, it has what do you call it?
Mauser sounds like Nazis.
Accent. That's why it's so little. It has to be because it's a collective. All right. Well, so you guys talk that out, or did I cut you off in the middle of stuff?
No, we're good. We're just passing time.
So first thing is 2 hours from now, so ish midnight my time. We got a solar eclipse. At least I'm going to be able to see a pretty good chunk of a full lunar eclipse, I should say, tonight. So it's going to take like 2 hours to fully, whatever that's called, move in front of our shadow will move in front of the moon. So full moon tonight, Cyber Monday, lunar eclipse. And I think it's full for some parts. In Arizona, say we're going to see a pretty big crescent taken out of it, or a bite taken out of it. So in about 2 hours, if you're awake, look up.
I went. I did check out the moon the 2 nights ago. I think it was almost full and hovering in the northeast. So, what time did you say again? Or can you tell me what time central that's going to be?
I don't know what time, but 2 hours from now. Well, an hour and a half from now it starts. They told me in Arizona, and I don't know if I can't imagine there's a difference. There might be a difference if you're somewhere else on the planet. I guess there must be, but I don't know if I think there would be a difference in how much of the shadow you see, but I don't think there's a difference in when it happens. But There could be. I have no idea how big the Earth is and all that kind of shit. But anyway, for me, it starts an hour and a half and it'll last till 4:30. So it'll start in an hour and a half and last for 2 hours. So it's not, or no, it'll last for 4 hours. So it's not like it'll happen in 15 minutes. And if you don't see it, you won't see it. It's just, and you won't see it happen fast at all. It'll take 4 hours for me. Can't imagine it'll be faster anywhere else. So it's going to be an all-night thing. I think they said at 2 a.m. my time is when it'll be the most. Like the shadow will eat the most out of the moon. But it should be pretty neat. It's about like an old 50s movie. It's like an old black and white movie at night. Like they basically look like they're doing stuff in a parking lot or something. It looks like that out there. It's so bright out there. In Tucson, I don't know if it's where y'all live, but in Tucson we got telescopes and stuff here, so they make a big stink about light pollution. So we have very dark skies compared to other places I've traveled. So when there's a moon, it's more obvious, I think, than some places. We're pretty dark here. All right, so should I need to close this or put it on a different screen? I think I have everybody's orders bagged and ready, like in the packages to go. And first off, thanks everybody for ordering. I do appreciate it. We're not like some of these places where, I'm a capitalist, but I'm not like good at it. So I didn't, I worked at this, but I did. It was probably more than I worked at any Cyber Monday ever, actually. But I'm still not, my goal isn't to be a great online store. My goal is to be able to share 2A and do things in ways that get other people participating. So this is a way that I can facilitate that, and I appreciate everybody who participates in that to make it happen. With that being said, There was a whole bunch of people that participated, and I think the way to do it is take the picture, one of the pictures I took earlier, and we'll just, I think we did this before, we'll just draw on it, and that way we'll know who's picking what. But anyway, I went through and bagged everything, and then I think I have a pretty good idea of what y'all got coming, and who of you got it coming twice. Some of you got it coming twice. But I did it a little bit differently than a free patch Friday, because basically these things take a lot more time to build than just, buying something for some amount of money. So it's tougher to give them away. So we went with $25 orders, or kind of talk and click on things. It's actually tougher to click on things when they're in folders, and I got to remember when everything is, and talk, than it is to just do other things and talk at the same time. So I'm just going to quit talking. See, I don't even think I have it in here after all this.
After you find it, the last time we did it, you wanted to do layers and you had forgotten to do that. So if you want to do layers on this run. Oh,
crap. I did it in Adobe, huh? Yeah, that might be better. I didn't even think I was going to do it in shitty paint. I'm going to do it in Adobe. All right, that'll take me another minute. So I don't know how many people. We got 13 people. That's more than a normal show. So thanks, everybody, for showing up as well. And if you want to just throw suggestions out there, I think there was enough of everything that the only thing you'll be fighting over is Elvis. I think off the top of my head, there's like at least 3 people that wanted the 2 Elvises. So there's going to be some kind of an Elvis death match probably tonight. But aside from that, like no bloodshed. Like everybody else, there's enough tacos for everybody, I think. And I don't know. I think not everybody said what they wanted, so we're going to find out. But anyway, we just open over here. Open this up.
So are those Elvises what I misidentified as Saturday Night Fever, John Travolta's? The ones in the center?
No, it just looks sort of like Elvis in a jumpsuit. That's Saturday Night Fever. I mean, that's literally right off the album cover or whatever. Yeah, I think it's off the album cover. I don't know if it's the same on the movie or not. I don't think it is. The movie, he's like walking down the street looking like he's late for something.
Yeah. Well, he's bringing a can of paint back to the hardware store. He went and got it at a different hardware store to try and fool the customer. But yeah, that's the opening sequence, the opening credits, him walking down the street to the Bee Gees beat.
Don't cry at me. You just went outside. You hear that? It's like I beat her. We're gonna call this winners. 2020. All right, and now I have this, and now we gotta grab a picture from over here. Let's see. I need one from way down here, maybe, yeah, one of these. All right, this one. Boom. All right, we'll test this and see if everybody can see. Oh, I was going to say a bunch of people showed up. Thanks for that. I got distracted trying to figure out where the hell I stuck this picture, which is, I believe, the most recent picture of the stuff sitting over on the table over there. So we can start keeping track. Let's see. So I was going to say thanks for showing up, but also show of hands or whatever. If anybody out there has got something that they want, feel free to throw it out there. You don't have to wait for me to call out your order or anything like that. I figure that's kind of dumb. There's not enough orders to make it like everybody wait around. So if you've got, basically I was saying before that a bunch of people ordered at the $25 level, and the people that didn't are Patreons. So basically everybody that ordered can grab off of this pile is what it means. So if you ordered, feel free to grab off the pile. If we get 2 people grabbing for the same thing, we're going to throw down a knife and we're going to see who comes away with a stub and who comes away with a bloody patch. So that's the way we roll because it's midnight. Is the sale still going? Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, probably should, huh? There's at least as many left as what barbecue bought. So I can't. I'd have to look here and see which pile is which. I might accidentally send him the smaller pile, which would be what's left over. But yeah, let me grab a link. I probably should have. If Kingpin was here, he'd do my work for me. Let's move this over here. I don't like doing this. I need a third monitor. I can have a safe monitor from live, and then a beaten monitor that I don't have to pay attention to, and then the monitor that is live. Can you do this on the dock? No. Something I was doing today was, what was I doing today? I didn't have to click nothing. I could just drag and drop everything. It was great. All right, so I guess we're looking at the screen there. We did have a bunch of stuff. No one bought the Indiana patch panel. So basically, this was the old patch panels. I used to do this border on them. Sometimes I would do it. That thing was a super pain in the ass to thread. So whatever thread was in it was what color the border was going to be. And then if I ever broke the thread or needed to rethread it for some reason, I would thread it with a different color, and then the borders would change. But it's basically, if you look at your t-shirt, it's what the collar of your t-shirt is connected to the rest of your t-shirt. Like when you take those two dissimilar stretchy materials and try to sew them, that fancy sewing is the machine that I used. And it's designed for like women to sew their underwear together or something. And I'm jamming carpet through there, and somehow that broke it. So this might have been the last one that I worked on, and it was probably going to roll call, but it got jammed underneath of something, and so did Roll Call's Dreams. So now it's for sale for $35.70. See where we're going there? $357. So I'm surprised nobody grabbed that, because everybody bugs me about having state-shaped patch panels. Now, it could be that Indiana sucks so bad nobody wants a patch panel in Indiana. I don't know. I'm not judging. And then, of course, we have the Wyoming-shaped one, or you could maybe call this Kansas, and no one bought that one either. There's George, right on. So yeah, I'll go back. That was stuff at the store. I had it on the main page here for a while. I'll kill all this. All of these things are going back to their original price of 1984. So from now on, these will be more like donation, to help fund everything. This was a thank you to everybody at $9, and then a special thank you. Our Patreons got them for $7.62 today, and I'm glad to see that pretty much everybody took advantage. There was a couple of people that are Patreons and don't like to use the coupon, which honestly, I mean, it's nice, I guess, because that was a couple extra bucks, but it's also handy to have when you use the coupon. I can tell right away that you're a Patreon, right? When I'm like today, I was trying to keep track of who was Patreons or not, and that made it real easy. I didn't have to go look it up. But either way, I really appreciate everybody that participated, and these will still be there. So, the whole goal is to make it fun to collect and have something to trade or whatever. It's not like these are on a recipe. Oh, I think the other thing we'll take a look at is what they're made out of. I don't know if everybody scrolled down here, but the multicam ones are the same material that's in the van. So I just bought way too much of it because the van's like 11 feet long. I thought, I brought like 14 feet instead of 11. So I ended up with a whole bunch extra. And I've just been using it for stuff. So that's what the multicam ones are. The green ones are an old set of Korean era Air Force uniforms I had that I chopped up and was using the materials for different projects and stuff. Then we got this oak. I forget the name of it. It was like some actual brand of oak camo. And I had this fabric laying around forever, and it was about as big around as a shirt. Like it was about as big as a shirt. Right? So it was basically pointless. It was too little to do anything with, and it was too big to throw away. I could do something with it. Why is YouTube telling me you're spreading flat earth? I have no idea. Because of Cyber Monday, maybe? But anyway, that's that material. So I finally came up with a use for it. I don't know. Give me some feedback when you get these things. When I make them, it's no big deal to me because I know what I'm making it out of. But if you get it and you get one where the gun looks weird, or you think that it's goofy because for some reason the pattern behind it screws with the Wolverine, let me know. We'll swap it out. You're not screwed or nothing. If you don't like what you get, because they are all unique, let me know. The gray ones, I did buy the new sewing machine finally. So that's one of the reasons I was practicing making these things, was to practice with the new machine. And it's awesome compared to my grandma's old machine. Holy shit. Anyway, the thing came with like this dust cover because I guess old ladies don't like to get their sewing machines all dusty. And I could give a shit. So I just took the dust cover and chopped it up. And you'll see a lot of patches coming out in this gray material. because that was a hell of a lot cheaper than buying material, right? So every time you buy something in this gray color, that's helping me buy that machine. So it's not Mossy Oak. It was some other. It had like an R in it, unless Mossy Oak was owned by like Roberts or something for a while.
Is it Real Street?
No, it wasn't Real Street. One of them says like Roberts or something. I noticed it as I was sewing, and then it might, I don't know, you'd have to look at them real close, but I don't forget what color it is. But one of them kind of happens on top of the letters, and the other guy is kind of like stepping on the letters. But it was like Rogers or Roberts or something. And it might have been like a prototype even, because I did get it at SHOT Show. I was talking to somebody about making like a pouch type of thing, and it was sort of a material they just gave me to kind of look at. But yeah, it is neat, but it isn't all that great. I don't like oak. I mean, we don't have trees that have deciduous leaves that turn brown like that, so it doesn't just look right here. You know, the pattern looks bad here. So it's probably perfect wherever you got acorns and shit laying around.
That proper noun for the camo doesn't have anything to do with the Robertson family or whatever, those duck dudes, the hillbilly ones.
No, I got that way before any of that. Or maybe it did. I have no idea. It could be. Yeah, I mean, if they did a whole bunch of hunting shit, then maybe.
They were Duck Commander before they ever got famous.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They before they did that TV show, they were a big company, so maybe. Anyway, so this is the panel. Looks like Crump is out there. He didn't do a show today. He's got one coming up in a couple of days, I think. But it looks like he's got a gunbroker thing going for his niece. He did a post earlier about the laptop for her. Hold on, I gotta feed this dog. She's gonna gnaw my leg off, and she's half wolf and half fox, and the other half of her is meme. So
sorry about that, everybody. I didn't realize I was unmuted.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Barbecue and I both caught John's Bella episode. That's freaking awesome. But I gotta say one thing about John's icon photo. He looks considerably less approachable than he sounds and looks on camera. That's a pretty raw
show
photo.
Today? When was your show today? I kept looking. I didn't see nothing today except for Clover had a show, I think, and Matt.
Well, I haven't gone to bed, so it might have been yesterday.
Anyway, so can I have one of the orange stripper clips? Let's see. But yeah, the answer is of course. So let me just dig into that real quick. I don't have to scribble that one off because I've got more of them. But sure. Anybody else that ordered today, like I say, feel free to just chime in. If it's, I got the hiccups. If you start grabbing specific ones, then I'll start scribbling them off here and keeping track.
I would like a John Travolta.
They're basically the same. So unless you can see something, I don't think I did anything. No, I don't think I did anything different. So the only difference is I would say like actual, whatever manufacturing discrepancies are in them.
I trust you to select one of the two. And then can you tell me what it is in the top row left that's got a yellow border?
You mean this flour tortilla taco?
Oh, is that what that is? Okay. I just couldn't. No,
that's the flour on the tan color, and then this would sort of be the corn tortilla on a tan color. And then I didn't do any other flour tortillas because it looked shitty, so I did the rest in that kind of gold, whatever color, and then played around with the background colors. Problem is, it takes like 90 minutes of farting around, and every time you see a different color on a patch, that means I had to like break a needle and stop everything and change the colors out and then start again, and the dog gets upset, and I had to go in the other room. And it's pain in the ass. If it's just one color, it's a little more straightforward. I just have to wait when I go in there when it breaks. But otherwise, whenever you see one multiple colors, it means I'm sitting there. So these tacos are a pain in the ass when it's like, I'm going to do it on this color. Damn it, looks like shit. So I'm going to do it in this color. It's not that much better. I'm going to do it on this color. It's like an hour. But that's what happens is you end up with a bunch of them, and that's why there's varieties like this. I'm not going to throw them away. I'm way too cheap for that. But let me find DTPs in here. I know it was one of the last ones.
I got one whenever you're ready, G.
Yep.
The Daily Gun Show, the microphone, one that's in between the two, the one that's in between the two Gear website ones. It's fairly little, almost smack dab in the middle of the picture. A little bit.
Yeah, it has the blue border around it.
Yeah,
that's
I like
cool.
that one. I need that one.
Is this the one you're talking about? That's hypnotizing everyone to buy things at gearwebsites.com right now? I don't know if I like that. I did it because I was sick of making them all the same. And then I think it makes it look like it's thin blue line or something.
And I'll put it on the new patch panel that I ordered from you today. I just bought that square one you had. Yeah, that one.
No, G, I like that blue one. Yep.
Yeah, make more of those.
Since Wood sniped that one from me, could I get the taco on blue with yellow border?
Do we have to have a knife fight now, or I thought that's what we have to do?
No way, you're way better with a knife.
Did you guys just both reach for the same taco or something here?
Uh-oh.
Which one are you talking about now? Wait, you just said you wanted the Daily Gun Show one.
Right. We were just joking around, man.
Oh, okay. So which one are you talking about?
The taco on blue with yellow border.
George, you can definitely have the pink stripper clip, but that's not even good. So take another one in addition to that. Okay, now what did you say, Barbecue? That pink one is just here for fluff. Like, that's just a regular patch. Like, you can grab one of the unique ones too if you want. But Barbecue, I didn't hear because I wasn't listening at all, whatever you just said.
That's all right. The taco on blue background with the yellow border.
This one.
Be a taco on blue with the yellow border, please.
For a top.
Hold the spit.
All right, well, that goes in that pile. And then this one is probably this one. And plus, George, if you're this George, you've got wait, you got more coming anyway. Anyway, you got more coming. So feel free to pick another one. Because basically I'm doing it, $25 you pick something, but then Patreons and stuff, so yeah, and plus whatever for free. All right, so that one is done. I was going to scribble on it somehow, so let me use. Where did my tools go? Why is my tool way over here? What the hell? What do you guys do to my desktop thing here? All right, so now. This one. I'll just put it on another level. This.
I might suggest to George that he selects one of the Hunter Orange stripper clips to go with his other stripper clip, because the orange ones are limited edition.
Good call.
Special release. Yeah. Plus, it'd be dynamite on a hunting outfit. Or anything else.
If you're one of the Hunter Orange kind of people, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Does anybody know why Hunter Red didn't work out for us?
It would have been cooler, right?
We did Hunter's
Orange
Orange
before Hunter Orange, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's what it was before Orange, but in I think it was the 50s. Whenever the NRA was getting set to quit being political and go just move to Colorado or wherever, New Mexico, and be a hunters group, that's when they started going after hunting, basically wildlife, or not wildlife, wildlands and hunting. And that's when hunters, from what I understand, depends on where you get the history, I guess, but I read pro-gun history. So from our side, it's slanted, I'm sure. But basically from the hunting side, they said we need to do something. And I guess industry prompted it. And that was the whole orange thing. To proactively, I guess, become safety conscious and make it a thing. And I've talked about that before. Like that's a success, I think. I would call it a success that gun community has had in recognizing a threat and preemptively neutralizing the threat. I think that's the way to say it. If I'm understanding it correctly, my problem is finding people who to explain that to with my summary and then tell me if I'm right or wrong, because often I think I got it right, but I think that's how I understand it. I don't know if anybody's heard it before, but I looked into it whenever the a-hole Women Want Action or whatever took over orange. It bothered me to no end because that was our color. I'm pretty sure they intentionally did it because then I guess I'm just assuming they figure anytime somebody's walking around with just regular orange because of hunting or whatever, or safety orange, right? Because construction people sometimes wear orange. They'd somehow be, accepted as part of their group, or not accepted, but, counted. Like somebody who just happens to be wearing orange would look like their group's bigger. I don't know. I really don't know why I think it's probably just to screw with hunting or to move the window, to take orange back, so to speak, from their side. Uh-huh. But anyway, whatever. But anyway, that's when I started looking into it. And that's when I was one of those things, actually, that when I first found out about that, I was like, dang it, I never heard of that element before, that angle. And that's when I started trying to share that kind of stuff so that we're not ignorant, so that we're not, just a victim of our unawareness of that kind of stuff. Anyway, just happened to come up right now.
Yeah, that means that now I have a decent idea of the age on the Hunter Red vest that I have. It's a bird hunting vest. It has the pouches on it, front and back. But yeah, I was curious about that. And now it seems like, I see almost as much highlighter yellow for road crews as I do orange. And
because they figured out that yellow is better. There's a science to that. I read a thing, or I seen a thing about that yellow, that it's better. And that came from Europe. That's why I was resistant to it. Still don't like it as much as orange, but it is better than orange. I think it's something like it's not in nature ever. So it's somehow our brains see it easier. It's something like that, where orange just happens too easy or too often. So something like that.
Yeah, maybe it came from, that color preference came from France. I'm just thinking yellow.
And I don't know if, like I say, I'm not really doing these in order. So anybody that's out there, don't be offended or think that you have to wait for your name to be called. If you're just joining in and you've grabbed something from the store, this is the Extra-Ganza. There's no rules and there's no right or wrong. So people I've encouraged people to just jump in and grab whichever ones you want. And we're trying to mark it on this big picture here. I think the only thing that people have taken so far is that one taco, right? Some crazy, a couple of stripper clips, which don't count. And then right now, George is saying, start getting the pink one, so don't worry about it. And then I'll do an orange stripper clip and a taco patch that's black background and green color. And I haven't looked at my YouTube stuff in a while. But you don't know what the difference is between these tacos right here? There's these trace taquitos.
I was thinking just the borders.
No differencio. No, the borders would be obvious. I wouldn't be asking y'all adults that.
Oh, one doesn't have lettuce. It's hold the lettuce on the one that's yellow.
No, one has G Web's tears, one has G Web's sweat, and one has G Web's blood.
Oh, blood, sweat, and tears.
No, this one is for Joe because he can't eat anything with lettuce or salad near it. So
yeah,
there's nothing so he can get his intestinal cancer or whatever he gets from it. So let's see. So George is grabbing the black background and green border and an orange stripper clip. So I'll grab, well, first I'm going to change the color to, if he wants to claim a color, otherwise he's getting this color blue, I guess. And then I will flip back to that thing. And now we know this one's gone. See how fun this is? So, Zach, Chris, here's the deal. The black and orange one you keep asking for that was $20 got bought by some guy in this chat and some snowman that we all know. So you can't have the black and orange one unless you're asking one of them guys. And they, or no, you're talking about this black and orange one because you were asking about a different black and orange one earlier. First, let me go grab this one and an orange thing. And then if you want this one, let me flip colors here. If you're talking about, yeah, it's a shitty color. How about this yellow color? If you're talking about this one has a special story behind it. You think that special story is?
Tell us a story, G-Webs.
All right, so this is going to George, and this is. So if this is the one he's talking about, he hasn't said yet. Huh? This I tried sewing straight onto that Velcro I got, and I don't know. So whenever you get it, let me know what you think. I don't mind, but basically you can imagine when you sew, you know, we're seeing the nice part on this side. There's the other side, right? It's the other side of the knot basically or something. So it's a bunch of, looks like white, looks like the other side of a shit ton of knots. So normally you don't see that because you smear some crap on there and then you stick Velcro on, you sew it around and you never see that because it's like inside the Velcro. But when you don't have to do any of that, when you sew right on the Velcro, you get, imagine, well, let's try to imagine, if you will, this green patch right here. Or this, you know, this one right here, where it's orange. This is the one we're talking about anyway. See how this orange part is sewing and this black part is Velcro? If this was flipped around, this would be the bunch of the back of the sewing, and this would be the other part of Velcro. So it's basically, unlike this one, which would be a completely square piece of Velcro, this is sort of a U-shaped piece of Velcro with a big thing in the middle, right? So it works, but it doesn't stick anywhere like a big square of Velcro. See what I'm talking about? So it's a thing, but it's also like very thin. It's just a piece of Velcro. So it doesn't feel like a patch. It feels like a tag on the back of a shirt or something. It feels very thin. Humans see more shades of green than any other color. Ah, thanks.
Yep, that's true.
All right, well, so I don't know how many. The other problem is if I don't do it in any kind of order, then okay, so if that's the one you've been talking about, then yeah, you got that one, no problem, dude. I thought at first, because we were talking about that other one that was $20, we won't talk about it, but there's one of the background materials that I use that's made out of, like, I don't know what the hell it's made out of, something that looks like Superman would use for his clothing, because it just, I don't know what it does. It does something to my needles. It wipes some kind of goo on them, or it does something, and it's just horrible. Like, it's like if everything else is sewing through toilet paper, this material is sewing through some kind of wet leather coated with glue. It's just a real pain in the ass, and it pulls the threads weird, and it constantly frays everything, and it's just a pain in the ass. And I forget about it, and I sew on it. And then if I'm half an hour into a thing that takes 45 minutes, you got to finish, right? You're not going to stop in the middle of all that. I usually get about 15 minutes, and then I'm like, you know, into like a half an hour thing, and then I'm like, oh, why is my machine breaking? Like, why is this pain in the ass? Oh, it's this damn material I'm sewing into. So that happens every once in a while. And there was a couple of them out there that cost more. You guys already bought them. So thank you for that. But those went for $19.84 because basically I just hate those, and I'm never going to sew those colors again. So you paid a little bit more because you bought something that no one's ever going to see again. I'm probably just going to burn that material or sell it to Superman.
Wheeled barbecue already called that one. You must have been shopping.
No, he's talking about. Oh, he's talking about the one with the microphone. That's the Daily Gun Show logo. Yeah, I thought he was talking about the gun websites, or I mean the gear websites ones there.
No,
yes,
but
it's inverted colors. It's not really inverted. You just always get the white. You know, the bottom. Oh, on the sewing machine, you got the color on the top, and you got basically white always underneath. So the bottom of a patch is almost always white. Or sorry, you're saying something.
Just that I like the gun websites or gear websites on black. That's pretty striking. One next to the DGS with the blue border. I think the other one's a button, isn't it, G?
No, there's all patches out here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Wheel just popped into the chat and asked about the zooming in on the one over there on the right-hand side.
Oh, that one already got grabbed. This is a bad picture because it's got this one in it is gone already.
Well, damn, Sam, Wheels, you're going to have to pick another. Third time lucky.
Yeah, the pattern shows through basically, but like I say, it's just the other side shows up as like the other side of the knots is just all like a big white mess, basically. If your machine's running weird, you'll see some color bleed through, but that's more of a material. You know, it's different if you sew on like what's something that's loose, like a potato sack or something, you know, that's barely even held together versus like nylon or something that's super woven together. I don't know what the words are, but you have to basically push that needle through all the time. And then if the needle's dull, it makes a big ass difference. So anyway, this has definitely been an adventure. I ran out of the normal material I use. There's a couple of things that, you know, I started using and they work good. They know it and they sell it at a decent, expensive price, basically. And basically, I buy like $80 worth of it at a time, and like that's a roll or something. That's like their wholesale roll, but it's you have to buy $200 worth of crap to get free shipping. So I'm always in this rock and a hard place with that place if I don't order right. So anyway, I'm just too cheap, so I didn't, and I'm not going to pay shipping. The shipping is like $24 on an $80 thing, and that takes me halfway to 200. Right? There's just no way I'm going to do it. So I've been using these alternative materials, and I guess I should also mention. I think I mentioned it, but I don't think anybody will care. The edges will fray a little bit. You know, this green stuff is, what is that? It's denim, I think. Isn't the green military material denim? But it's denim that's existed since 1950. So I don't know how many washings these things must have had, but probably a lot. And it's still decent material. But you know, just like a pair of cut off jeans or you cut off the arms of a jacket, you know, the denim is going to fray a little bit. It'll only fray to the hem or whatever that edge is called, but you know, they won't be like some materials that are melted or cut with a laser that, you know, are just clean. You can already see it on some of these where it's a little fraying or whatever. Now, if you really don't like it, you can clean it up with a lighter, just burn it off, but just be careful you don't let just like a candle will put off smoke that leaves a mark. Flip it over so that the flame goes away from the patch. Otherwise, you sometimes get like a smear of black if the nylon smoke gets on the light color of the patch.
Yeah, scorching. Yeah, and the density of woven fibers, the weave and the weft is threads per inch, like thread count.
Yeah, it's called denier. So there's different, depends on the material to like what they call that characteristic or what, and like how they're made, I suppose, because not everything is woven. Some of this stuff, you know, is probably looks woven to us, but it could easily be something like a foam that's squished or, you know, who knows how they make it. So we got 3 different gun gear websites logos, just all kind of different playing around. These 2 are on the green background, can't really tell. And then this one is an old one on the white that I normally used to use. Canvas, yeah, that's probably what it is. So they're all on the left of the picture. So unless you mean the one way on the left, then you got it. I don't have your, you must have come in at the end here. So I don't have yours. Am I going to do this? I have way too many tabs open over here. I think though, yeah, the last one was at 8 o'clock. So yours is the only one here. But yeah. So anyway, anybody else out there? This is less, probably it's better to do it going through the list. So I'm going to attempt to do that so we don't miss anybody and just to kind of see. So is Foss out there? I don't think he let me know if Josh is out there. Oh, you didn't say which one you wanted, so I didn't go over here and grab your food yet. And you just want one, DJ?
The gear website on black is really cool. If you don't mind, I'd love that.
There is none on black. So what are you talking about?
The one to the right of the Daily Gun Show with the blue rim.
Are you saying we're in the middle of the picture?
Yeah, next to the, yeah. Wait, I can't see which one you said. This one.
I'll be circling it here. This one?
No, down. You circled the taco. He doesn't want a taco.
No, the taco was already circled. It's the one just below it. Yeah, gee, I think I see your cursor hovering over it.
Yeah, that's it.
Whoa, as you guys got that much delay? I circled that like an hour and a half ago, and you guys just caught up. That's interesting. I never thought about that.
What's that?
I think there's a delay. I never noticed it. You wouldn't think there'd be a delay. Then maybe there's a delay on the vision. That can't happen. Anyway, I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna put this one in here. And you want that. Right on. Thank you. And then this way, it's also, well, normally I'm doing this on a Friday. I was going to say, and now it's way easier to get these to the mailbox, but I guess it's not a problem at all getting it to the mailbox tomorrow. So, because normally the mailbox would be closing early tomorrow. This was Friday. So this feels like a Friday to me. How about you? Let's see. So that was DJ. Then we got Randy. We got barbecue. Did we even do any of yours? All you picked was one taco?
No, he went after the one that's next to the one I just had too.
Are we allowed more than one?
What?
Are we allowed more than one?
You? Yeah. Come on.
I almost got the whole set, except there was one that was sold out when I went to order everything. I was like, son of a gun.
Which one was sold out?
I don't know. All I know is I got 21 of the 22. I think it was like tan on black or black on tan, something like that.
This one's black on tan. Shit, I don't know either, dude.
Way to step up on Cyber Monday, barbecue. You are going to be in the most exclusive of clubs. Hell yeah.
Yeah. G-Web's noticed how to get my money.
So you don't have a black on tan. So you want this one that's right there that looks like black on tan, kind of? That's the word.
I'm having trouble seeing it.
It's basically black on tan. It just has a green border instead of a black border.
What about
Anyway.
that taco on black with the yellow border?
No lettuce?
Yeah.
That's the one.
So he's basically going to suck up whatever all you guys don't want. But I'm glad you got a couple in there while you're getting is good. Let's see, what colors was yours? This color? I think. You grabbed the other taco also.
Yeah, you gave me black.
No, wait a minute. Didn't you grab? Oh, yeah, I flipped your pack over. Shit, scared the shit out of me. I'm like, what happened? We lost a taco. We didn't lose a taco. I flipped the stack over. Scared the shit out of myself. All right, so you got 2 tacos. And then big G on the left. Well, I'm going to guess he wants this one. So I'll put a W on there. And then that'll let me know that one is for wheel, right? And we'll make those a different color. This color.
So, G, I just bought a new patch panel like a week ago, anticipating that I should be filling up my second patch panel here within the month or so. And now with this sale and everything, I'm going to pretty sure have a patch panel that's just devoted to Wolverine patches.
Cool. Does anybody else do them? I know I've seen like 2 others, 3 others that were like made by production, made like had a run made at least, maybe more than 1 run by now. Actually, another one if you count. There's an old one. Yeah. I think maybe I'm thinking of an AK one. But you're talking just these? You probably have it. Well, I don't know. I guess we have to see. At this point, this is a bigger collection than I have. I usually would do this, if I make 3 or 4 and something, like a lot of times something will happen and then it's like, damn it, it's screwed up. So then I'll just run it weird or whatever. And then, or I'm testing colors or something. Then I'll just keep the weirdest ones or the ones that don't look right. So my collection is not necessarily ones I want, but ones that I couldn't get rid of any other way. So I just have a bunch of them that have accumulated that are shitty. And this is probably almost that size. So one of the reasons I wanted to make them cheap so everybody could grab a couple is, so that people, it's not just like everybody has one in their collection or whatever. Like maybe somebody starts doing some trading or something. Because the thing is, if somebody doesn't want this anymore, what is it worth to them? It's not that expensive. You can trade it for some patch that they do want. Let's see. So that was Chris. Then we got Jeff. I don't know everybody's. We got Brandon, Chris, Snob out there. I think so. And then Woods. Did you grab one, Woods?
Yeah, I took the GGS right in the middle.
Oh, okay. So I just didn't put a circle around it. It's a different color. All right, so then Grandpa Stanley is not out there, I don't think. Smeggy's not out there. DTP. You already grabbed one, right? Oh, and then Chris grabbed this one. What color was Chris? Did DTP grab one? No, I don't remember.
I don't think so, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, double check the chat.
You said they got the orange triple clip, but if you want something else, feel free. Because then I like I say, as soon as this goes off air or whatever, I'm sure barbecue will end up dripping barbecue sauce all over the rest of them, and then nobody will want them.
We now know the secret ingredients: blood, sweat, and tears.
All right, well, so people have dropped off. I'm guessing the people that were here for that grabbed them, and the picture's still there. So I'm going to quit screen sharing. But if anybody wants to jump back to that, we can certainly. I got the stuff right here, so we can certainly distribute them. Thanks again, though, for everybody that purchased stuff at the store. Hopefully, like I say, some of the patch panels, it looks like all but a couple, well, about half the patch panels went out. That's a bunch of money because those were. Basically, that's just carpet I get at Home Depot, right? It's Georgia carpet. It's decent. Like say it's thin, so it's not big annoying carpet or nothing. It's just that speaker covering more, or something you'd put in a car or something. It's really thin, and it doesn't hold the patches too hard. People have, I've used it for patch panels. People have seemed to like it, and basically putting them on the wall. It's not like you're fiddling with it too much. I don't know why normally you put an edge on it just so that it's nice, but it's not really necessary. So hopefully they're going to work for people as just useful things. I don't think you can find it any cheaper. You really couldn't make it hardly any cheaper because you have to buy so much freaking carpet to do it. And then a thing of grommets, right? It's not like you can go buy 2 grommets and a square. I guess you probably could get a remnant or an odds and end piece of carpet easy enough and then just put it up with nails. But anyway, again, I pretty much did them as cheap as possible. Still got the Gear website's logo on there, so it's not just a piece of carpet. And hopefully they're useful. And then the Wolverine ones are just fun to collect and trade, hopefully. So anyway, we can keep chatting stuff. Did anybody have a chance? I was looking around. I saw more people horking over from either small businesses or what I consider to be people that should have been done on Black Friday. Like, Black Friday is for big business, right? Like Amazon and that kind of crap. And then leave us the rest alone. Like, that's why they have Small Business Saturday. That's why they have Cyber Monday. And then that's why there's Giving Thursday and there's something on Wednesday now. So that everybody gets, a portion of all the capitalism that's going on. I saw more stuff from big box stores, or what I would consider Black Friday crap, that was like, oh, we're Black Friday weekend now, or Black Weekend, or whatever, and our sales all last through Monday night. I'm like, would you shut up and quit working off of small business and cyber stuff? So I didn't see too many cyber things. A couple of sites had 10% off their whole store. Like, I don't know how to do that. I guess you can just tell the store to do 10%, but some of the stuff, costs $4 or I sell for $4 and it costs $3 to ship or something. So if I took 10% off, it would cost me money to ship some of the stuff. But the other stuff, I guess I could try doing that. I don't know. But I went with this. I hoped it was more fun and more individual than, But of course, everybody that triggered the $42 situation is getting a manufactured thank you. So there are some big box manufactured things going out tonight as well, or tomorrow, I guess, as well. Anyway, I just feel like I'm talking to myself. So you guys got any other topics?
Oh, no, we're listening. And you're so generous, man, all the time. Thank you very much. And yeah, I agree with you about big box stores trying to extend over into other territory, and the fact that also a lot of people won't know about Giving Thursday. I think that should be just as important, and maybe people can just double down on their local shopping before Friday.
Well, it's Giving Tuesday, so tomorrow. So I don't know where that came up. I guess we horked it, cyber people horked it, and I've been aware of Cyber Tuesday for quite a while, I guess. And then it seems like Small Business Saturday popped up in between, but that could have just been my perception of it because I'm an online person. But this Giving Tuesday has been more recent. I kind of like it. I think it might have been driven by Amazon and their whole deal. I think a lot of people end up buying stuff as gifts or whatever, and then once their budget is spent, they take whatever's left over and do some shopping, right, or that kind of thing. And I think that's where I think that's where that kind of came from, like that. You know, there's the big wave of spending, and then there's the smaller wave of all the residual, like, oh, okay, let me just spend the rest of that budget, you know, on Tuesday or whenever it happens. Did you see that FPC got banned from eBay? No. I don't know what they would have been doing. Probably they do some weird stuff. So I guess maybe for political-ish, from the political angle.
Well, they just had a not a fundraiser, but a membership drive.
Yeah,
and they've been blowing up Instagram. Maybe they were doing the same thing, and that the other platform didn't want to support it anymore. That's a shame.
eBay. Well, I don't know what they'd be doing there, but yeah, there's probably. I don't think I've ever seen any kind of event or anything sold or ticket. Well, I just think you can buy tickets on there, so I don't know. But no, I haven't seen that. eBay's all right. You know, it's good for when I got they had the blue. So my printer is like 4 laser printers, 1 for each color. And then the advantage there is that, I don't know, some advantage over having other things because now I have toner instead of something else. Toner lasts way longer than juice. So the bad part is that it's 4 laser printers in there. So something about making all probably the cards I'm thinking for the 2A patch because that's right around where the burn went in. Maybe I put a line in the 2A patch things that was on both sides or something. So somehow I burned a line in my blue drum, and I knew how to do. I wish I knew how I did it because then I would not do that again. But somehow I did, and then I figured out the diagnosis was change this drum out. Went to eBay and bought. It said 2 like Xerox drum, not plural, and then the price was for 1. So I'm like, all right, that's some weird typo. It says 2, but you know, I'm paying for 1. The shipping is for 1. It's not plural. I'm buying it. I bought it, and it was way cheaper. I think I told y'all I bought it. You know, it's in the box. It was the box was open, but the aluminum foil thing inside that can't be open wasn't. You know, it's still fresh. It wasn't open. And it works just fine. But they did send 2. So like, what the hell? I just box it right back up in the same box, and it's on eBay. So, you know, it'll end up costing me like $4 for this thing instead of $14 or whatever it would have cost me for buying 2 of them. But, you know, like that, I would have never. Where am I going to sell that if not eBay? So I like eBay for that kind of thing. Getting it in the first place and then being able to turn right around and sell it off. All that Velcro that's going on all these patches came from that. I don't know if it's someplace went out of business or someplace that maybe wholesales business stuff, but basically seems like it came right off the boat from Velcro or from the Velcro supplier to the company, and then got sold at some point to me because it seems like, you know, factory packaged giant box size of like a small Foot Locker of Velcro that I got. So, you know, I can't find that in town. I'd be lucky to find, you know, Velcro at retail price in town normally. So that's kind of stuff eBay is awesome for. But and I've been on eBay since the 90s, I think. So it's definitely been good and bad over the years. It is what it is. It's still around. I use it. I don't have the huge number over there. I don't use it constantly, but I'll be using it more and more, I think.
I bought tons and tons of gun parts over the years on eBay.
Recently, or like back in the day, or
within the last, less so in the last 5 years, but a lot of Mossberg parts, like some, you know, like the extractor that when a Mossberg 500 breaks, it's usually that little extractor and with the little screw. And I buy the shotgun, and then I just go to eBay and I use one of those and shove it in there, and bam, I've got like a really good shotgun for $100. But I haven't done that in 3 or 4 years now.
There's no appeal for this decision. If you have questions, apparently it's too much of a risk to support your constitutionally protected rights. So I guess they had a probably like a shirt or something over there. Can't imagine. They probably had some shirt that was messing with people or something. I'm looking through. I just looked at the Instagram that DTP put on there. But what do they got? 5 posts on their Instagram? What the heck? Oh no, Instagram's being weird. I was going to see if they've got any other posts about what they would have up there. Looks like they had some kind of a card, some kind of a discount card where you join the FPC coalition and you get some kind of discount. So maybe there was a membership discount thing they don't like. But they don't really have anything on their Instagram about like, here's what we have on eBay. So the only thing I can think of is shirts. And they didn't really sell anything except for fundraising memberships, which you get a patch. I don't think I've ever seen memberships for sale on eBay, but I've never looked, I guess. And then, of course, hats and shirts and that kind of thing. But if they're doing some kind of weird advertising, I guess that could trigger some kind of somebody to get to whatever alert and then some kind of review by eBay. I don't know. I've never heard much except for, of course, gun stuff. They don't like gun stuff on eBay. That's why I was asking if you had done that stuff recently or not.
I bought a year ago.
They're weird about it. I've had bayonets up there, and I've seen people. I've bought bayonets up there, and I've had bayonets be taken down because they're bayonets. Like, you're not allowed to sell them, but I can buy them. Like, so they don't care about every auction, but something can alert them, and they'll care about it.
I buy a lot of gun parts off of eBay. I mean, I just did so recently also. I've got a Model 68 Winchester, which is just a single shot bolt action. And years ago, I was in the process of redoing the stock and whatnot. And we ended up moving right in the middle of redoing everything. And I don't know if my ex just threw the bag of parts away or whatever happened. The bag of parts went missing, and somebody must have been parting one out, and I was able to find the missing parts that I needed and get it back together.
Yeah, it was your ex-wife, 100%.
Pretty sure.
She threw it away. We're blaming her.
Would not doubt it at all.
I have one. They're vindictive. Come to think of it, I bought revolver part. Like, I bought a Sear not that long ago for like a little cheap RG 38. So it's weird that you can buy gun parts, but they can't sell like a shirt or something.
Well, I'm sure it was something like they got reported or somebody, decided, I'm going to go over to your eBay and report you or get mad. Unless they did something like they do some kind of in your face stuff once in a while. If they did like Biden's an idiot shirt or something, somebody got offended or they decided that was against policy.
I wonder if it was something to do with PayPal.
Yeah, because then they'd be complaining about PayPal.
Yeah, but I was wondering if PayPal went to eBay and said, hey.
Well, if they did, FPC would be saying, hey, we can't use PayPal anymore. They'd be worried more about that than eBay is what I'm saying. I would think. I'm sure we'll know. They seem to kind of be open about everything they do.
Speaking of FPC, it was a week or so ago, I think it was. Did you catch what what's his face said at the end of one of the daily bullets for the Second Amendment Foundation?
What's that? What do you mean?
Where he said, keep tuning in and donating or something so he can get paid.
Oh, yeah. I definitely heard. Yeah, today he's called himself the director of something, public relations or something like that kind of a thing. They had some guy who ran a gun shop and then started a podcast and then turned into a radio show. He's syndicated on like 50 channels.
Sounds like a good life.
Yeah.
A lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into doing that too. You got to stay at it. Then you got to get that.
Can you imagine how many podcasts? Well, you've been around for a little while. How many podcasts? Can you even count how many podcasts have like started up and not just like I'm going to try it and then 3 days later, 3 shows later, quit, but like really give it a try and then not turn into a radio show and be on 50 channels. I mean, it's very difficult, or very few would even. Not that it's a path that's inevitable, but very few would get from that start to that finish, I guess.
You have to get a little bit lucky, right? Sometimes you have to be in the right place at the right time. Not saying that it isn't hard work, but you got to get a little, like, the universe got to be on your side a little bit too. That just the right program director went, hey, I'm going to give this guy a shot.
Oh no, that's exactly what it was. Is they were saying how they were running a radio show. They decided to, or they were online farting around, or no, they were just farting around. And one of their friends was in radio, came in and said, hey, you're farting around like this, could be a radio show. You should try it, and bugged them until they did it. Kind of thing. So it was somebody who had a hankering that it would be a good idea and encouraged them to do so. So I guess it's not like they, well, like I said, it's not like they said, hey, let's quit being a gun shop and be a radio show instead.
Do you remember where they were in the country?
It's Arms Room Radio, so shit, I don't remember anymore. I want to say Florida, but I could be wrong. I don't really pay attention. I don't listen to too much radio, but I usually don't pay attention to the radio people, but that's just my bias, I guess. I don't know. So you can't listen to the radio unless it's syndicated. You can't listen to the radio. At least until recently, you couldn't listen to the radio stations unless you lived right here, right? So,
right.
I was like, well, that's interesting, and you might have a big following, but like big deal. Like you're only as far as your ears or your signal can reach. So, I'd rather talk to people who are writing or doing something online where there is no boundaries or whatever. But whatever, there's syndication now. Plus, obviously, you can just put your show on the line, and it is online. No difference between it and a podcast, really. Well, let's see. We're about hour something in. I don't want to cut it short, but at the same time, we don't need to milk these things. We're not getting paid to be here. And like I said, I don't like to pull teeth if we got no kind of topics. We've been chatting pretty good. There's a link again, so if anybody wants to jump in and be part of the show, it's not we're not putting on a thing for you here. We don't have actors reading off of scripts. We don't have some sort of overall plot arc for the season, anything like that, other than to continue having valid participatory conversations that hopefully let us all experience actual growth in our conversation skills and abilities. I appreciate them to be focused on 2A, but not requiring it. And like I say, just playing host or whatever, an hour or something in. More topics or?
Yeah, I'll take a stab. I know you and I have talked about staging guns before, like, so the idea of leaving a gun somewhere hidden in your house where you may not, about it, but not everybody does, like, by the front door or whatever. So bad guys come, the gun's right there already. I'd love to hear what these two guys have to say about it. They think pro or cons or.
I'm totally pro in general. And as long as you don't forget where the hell you put them, and don't leave an obvious map on how to, if someone were to do that. And front door is not going to be the best spot, at least in my estimation, because if they're coming through that door and they're already on their way through it, they're now between you and your firearm, or at least the one at the front door, and it has the potential for them to pick it up, whether they're looking to unfurl an umbrella or not. But the only room in the house that I don't keep one is the kitchen. And that's because I will have folks over and I don't want them opening drawers and finding something that they shouldn't. But everywhere else, including the bathroom, Don't want to get caught in there without something, without a
That's
gun.
almost where you need to stage a gun the most. Like you're never more vulnerable than there in your whole day.
Yes, very vulnerable in that position.
Best toilet gun, I would say, is get a high point, tape it to the underside of the lid of your toilet bowl. That way, if you're sitting down there doing your business, need to grab something, you grab that big porcelain thing off the back, rip off the duct tape, and with the finish on the high point, it should never rust.
You must be really flexible, brah, to be able to be sitting one way on the throne, reach completely back around, grab the tank lid, and then reach down into the water.
Whoa. You're assuming which way he sits on the bathroom.
Oh,
You can't use a laptop sitting around that way. Not as easy.
I like to do the Superman.
Oh shit.
That would be so hilarious. In like some kind of setting like the military or in like a high school or something. I don't know if in the high schools they even do that anymore, but like, where you have one of those bathrooms where everybody just got to shit in front of everybody. Just go down there and sit backwards. That'd be funny.
Yep.
No one would talk to you again. You'd be weird, but it would be funny for like you.
Yeah, no doubt. I never did understand why it was that women had the privilege of stall doors and we did not. People would try to time out when they needed to take a dump so they didn't have to do it in front of everybody else, because we only had we had 2 sets of boy-girl bathrooms in different parts of the building, but there were only like 4 urinals and 3 dumpers in there. So in between classes, guys were going to rock piss, and you if there wasn't any room at the urinals, you just went straight to the toilets. But yeah, I think that most people have a certain degree of modesty when they use the bathroom, and that vulnerability reinforces it. And so to be as exposed as you are already, to have that further insult added, I never thought the same way about the shop teacher who had individual sheets that he would tear apart and lay on his leg when he was taking a dump every day after band period, first hour he was in there.
All right, we're done. We don't need to talk about it.
All right, sorry.
Well, here's a fun story for you guys. Having 2 young daughters, every once in a while you'll be somewhere with them where you got to take them to the bathroom. Well, obviously I'm not going into the women's restroom, and now they're getting to the age where they can go in themselves, no big deal. But when they're younger, no such luck. They have to go in the guy's bathroom with me. So they say, "Dad, what's those things on the wall?" So I tell them they're backwashers. You just sit down and you extend your hand up, pull the handle, and it washes your back. And then at the end, you get a free cake.
How long did they leave?
They never tried it. I tried like hell just to convince them to do it. Because, obviously I'm not going to let them, but I figured, hopefully they'd be like, all right, I want to wash my back. Never once.
They knew immediately you were screwing with them, or they just knew immediately that wasn't the case?
They just didn't like the sound of it.
Yeah. Makes no sense anyway. Because what, are you going to take your shirt off and come out the back? It doesn't make any sense. You didn't think that one through.
Okay, Barbecue, what if we take your idea of the duct tape, but we get one of those little like Plano boxes and we put the high point in that and duct tape that to so then there would be no moisture in the gun ever. Because he doesn't.
I like that.
Ziploc.
You have to do it with a high point. You could do it with anything, really.
I'm worried about the ammo and the moisture.
Well, if you do it in a Ziploc, like a double Ziploc or something like that, you can leave the outer membrane full of air and have it just float there all the time.
Ooh.
But then if you're going to do those waterproof containers, you don't even have to worry about taping it or anything. You can just let it float in the water, and then you can have any firearm that you want in there. It could be an SB 101.
So realistically, though, you get one of them like shelves that is deep or thick, I guess, and then the bottom of the shelf, drops, a hinge thing drops down, and it gives you access to a handgun or whatever, or you can get like basically like a fake Kleenex box, right? Just like a piece of wood that's like just a shell, like a thing that you'd put down over a cake, except that it's a Kleenex box with a piece of Kleenex or two that really would come out if somebody grabbed one and blew their nose. It would, it'd have like some of them even probably have one of them travel size things, so it actually is a working thing of Kleenex for a couple of tissues. But anyway, below that, then of course is the firearm holster or some kind of safe or a whatever, so basically hidden in plain sight, just put something over it that very few crooks are going to be like, oh, right, I grabbed a box of Kleenex. Like I found that box of Kleenex I needed that cost less than $1. Like I'm going to take that with me. They're just going to leave it set right there. And then if you need it, just right there. Or putting some kind of just go to Home Depot and get a vent, right, for air exchange, air return, and then find a place that doesn't have anything behind it in your wall, and then pop that in there. Find a vent or some kind of cover. You can get access covers, maybe on the other side of your wall from your bathtub or something. You're going to have access covers, so you don't have to keep cutting a hole in your drywall every time you want to change a pipe. So you get something like that people are used to seeing in a bathroom anyway. You can get some of those that, again, they disappear. People don't look at them. The real criminal will look in there, but most people aren't even going to consider looking into access to something like that. And then you just put like a nice, holstered rack or something in there.
I like that.
You do a mirror easy enough in a bathroom or a picture frame. Mirrors would be right in place though, thick mirror, like one of them hide things or whatever.
Yeah, those get spendy quick.
Yeah, and in a bathroom, I suppose it's your tendency to yank on mirrors, right? Especially a thick mirror. Like you're just going to think it's another medicine cabinet, probably. And people will definitely go rooting around your medicine cabinet.
Yeah,
it seems like bad guys always have headaches and they want to brush their teeth, so they're always looking at medicine cabinet.
I might steal that vent idea by my front door. I like that.
Well, that's probably the best way to do it, I think. You can get return vents for any kind of room, right, that look right for the room. Just look what your other ones look like and do the same ones. You can do those in rentals and they don't even know, Add it, move into a place as a rental, cut a hole in the thing. If you really want, put a nice box behind it, but half the time you can just set some wood on the ground inside of the wall. If you put it towards the ground, you could just set some wood on the ground and then have a place to have it right there. Or, like say, put it up next to a stud or something and attach a nice little box or something in there so that there's a place to maybe hold it or whatever. Have a little holster in there. Yeah, you can hinge those things. Access panels are often hinged, something like for a vent, like a filter, right? Those are going to be hinged because you're planning to take it on and off quite a bit. If you put a filter in front, like something that's actually designed for a filter, then they look at it and it is a filter. I mean, it's only the smartest criminal is going to open up something like that, or somebody who's worked in the industry might go, there's no way an air return is here, right? Like this is not the place you put an air return, and the filter is clean, so that means there's no air going through it. I'm opening this. But the smart person is going to take an air filter that's maybe a month or two used and put that in there, and not a clean one. And then that way, somebody who's looking at it is going to go, oh, there's a used one. Like, well, what's the chance somebody's going to put go to that trouble of masquerading it?
I've got a box that's in my closet that's for an alarm system that I don't ever use, and I ripped all the guts out of it. And I've got a gun in there. And that's very much what you said. It's like no criminal would ever be like, I need to look in here, because they left one of the wires on the outside. So it still looks like it's like some kind of alarm thing or something.
Well, an alarm they might screw with or try to disable, but like a fuse panel, yeah, they're just going to be like, unless they're trying to screw with your lights, I can't imagine, except in a movie where anybody do that.
Right. But even the criminals know everybody's alarms are wireless now.
Yeah, but you still got a system. You can go in there and turn off the cell phone.
Well, I have another one. I mean, I have an actual alarm system.
Well, but I'm saying if you're a criminal and you see something at above your waist. If you see something above your waist that's an access panel anywhere, it's something like no person is actually putting access panels unless it's for sprinklers or alarms or something like curtains or something like something that you want to use all the time. Most of that stuff's going to go underground or under your knees, right? So right off the bat, if you open a closet and there's something at waist level, you know a criminal's looking in there. Or at least you
Well,
got
for any criminals who are listening, you've just told them where to find a gun.
Oh, I don't care. Criminals learn that stuff way faster than we can tell them. We're just trying to get people to be thinking about it. Criminals literally go to school for this stuff.
Oh, you mean county?
It's criminals talking to each other. I mean, that's word of mouth gets around. It's easy. It's always easier to break windows than it is to make glass.
Yeah. Hey, barbecue worked in the penal system. Would you have any observations about the training that convicts receive? I'm really
Training
curious.
for what?
Oh, anything like where to look for things, or I don't know, any kind of conspiratorial stuff you ever heard of.
Well, I was ended at the county level, so that would probably be something more state level.
Where they're there longer.
You guys that are getting county time are typically drug offenses, things,
Man, all I heard was typically drug
DUIs.
You breaking up for a minute?
And if the thing was, if they were getting state time, then they would eventually, go to state, which yeah. Uh-oh.
I think it might be Woods though. Is Woods over there making something on barbecue? Probably bacon. If Woods is over there not muted, it's probably just his mic catching in and like his background noise is interrupting you. You don't realize, like, it's just the mics battling each other. That might have been all it was, but we didn't hear any of that. At least I didn't hear any of that. Did you?
No, you gotta start over.
Like I was saying, I was in corrections at the county level, not state. So the majority of the offenders that we had were small time offenders, that were usually just going to end up getting time served in probation, mainly drug offenses, DUIs, first time robberies, things like that. We had, murders, things like that, but they were going to state, and we didn't have to worry about saying, hey, here's a job program or anything like that. And the guys that were in county, and because you could serve time in county up to 2 years minus a day. And then if you got 2 years or more, was state level. So most of the guys that were getting any significant county time, they still could qualify for things like work release, stuff like that. So any rehabilitative services like that were non-existent. We did have schooling for inmates that didn't have their high school diploma or anything, where they could actually go to school and earn the actual diploma. It wasn't even a GED, so they'd actually get a diploma when they were done. But that's about the extent of it.
But that wasn't really the question. The question wasn't the question if the bad guys teach each other in county?
Oh, I'm sorry. I completely misunderstood. They teach each other all kinds of stuff. I mean, whenever we would learn something that they were doing, they were already a step ahead of us with a new trick that they had up their sleeve. I mean, we had guys that were hollowing out books to hide their medicine that they were cheeking on us, and then once we caught on to that, then man, there's so many different things. They're constantly up to something. I remember the one time I was just doing rounds and I happened to find I guess it was a homemade bong where somehow one of the inmates had gotten a uh, spring from a pen and had taken that, wrapped it around the Monopoly hat out of the Monopoly game, and then they had, put the marijuana inside the top hat of the Monopoly game, and somehow they were smoking with it. It when you have people locked up like that, the human imagination is truly remarkable. The things that they would come up with, show each other. One of the less one of the more constructive things that they would do is they make shading pencils, and excuse me, with the shading pencils for drawing. Apparently, you can actually go buy these, but inmates couldn't buy them, so they figured out that they could moisten the tip of a piece of paper and roll it up a certain way, and then they could actually make their own shading pencil. And that's one that they would often show each other. So yeah, they're constantly
talking about where you just like roll up a piece of paper, so it's like almost like a lollipop stick, and then you just take like a drawing and you smear it around so that it becomes more like a watercolor or something, so that it's not like a comic book.
Yeah, for the most part. And then they would just use it to do the shading.
Yeah.
But yeah, the stuff they would do was, I had one inmate that made a hacky sack.
Out of what?
Well, I'm still trying to figure out where he got the material for the hacky sack, because
you can just start collecting pocket lint, and then just loom it or whatever it's called, like twist it into cord, and especially for like a hacky sack, right? It's almost like a burlap sack type of material. It doesn't have to be very tight.
I had a general idea
more along the lines of a eunuch, like somebody's sack.
Yeah, I had a general idea on how he did it. It's just how he got the materials, because my housing unit, everybody's we give the inmates scrubs basically for their uniforms. All the inmates' uniforms were in one piece. Nobody's had holes in them or anything like that. But the hacky sack was for sure made out of their
you take like orange denim, right? And you just take like any type of anything like a blade, except it doesn't have to be sharp, like any kind of like a credit card even. You just start, how you can scrape denim. You're going to scrape some of that off. You're going to basically get pocket lint, and you can just turn that right back into thread, spin it, and turn it right back into thread. It'll be the same color as
they had to have something to actually, because like you're talking about just sewing it, but these were like two pieces of cloth that they made into the ball.
Okay.
And
I'm talking more like knitting it or something.
Yeah, and then they actually I'm not sure where the heck they got beans, because unless one of them figured out sticking them on their windowsill and drying them out, maybe that's the best thing I could think of. But then
you can do it with green beans or corn. You just need to dry it out.
Yeah.
Let them dry, yeah.
So then they must have somehow gotten their hands on a staple, is the only thing I can think of. And then they just used thread out of their sheet. That was pretty obvious. But then they just sat there, and like I said, they must have gotten a hold of a staple, and they just and sewed it together.
Oh, so you don't even let a person have a staple when they're in prison? Snap. It's like if they're Magneto, and then they would.
But I mean, it probably depends on the facility. But the facility I worked at was actually considered maximum security. If you guys went past it, you wouldn't even guess that it was a prison. There's no fences outside or anything like that. Everything is completely state of the art when it was built. We had one central area called
like one human, and the rest of it is robots and lasers.
Kind of. We had central control that controlled every door in that facility. Now, at the guards' desks, we could control the actual doors for the inmates to go in and out of their cells, but to actually go in and out of the housing units or anywhere else, all that was controlled by one person at central control. Just watching TV monitors the whole time. So if something did happen, the only way to get out of that housing unit would have been for that person in central control to actually unlock the housing unit. Same with getting into it.
I've seen documentaries called Terminator 2 where they have situations like that. I'm pretty familiar. I'm basically an expert.
But yeah, it's pretty cool stuff there. Like I said, the human imagination never ceased to amaze me with the things that inmates would come up with.
So what state is this? Is it the same state?
What are you talking about?
But this was all taking place in what state of the country?
Oh, yeah, this was all in Pennsylvania, and like I said, this was just at county level.
So that would all been people from there, or like they happened to be there when they committed a crime. It's not like one of these situations where they're bussed in from New Mexico or California.
Yeah,
you're making money. Okay.
Yep.
So in that kind of situation, if 100% or 0%, what percentage of people in the jail? All people, not any piece of them, but all of them all together. What percentage of them are mean versus just want to get the hell out of there?
Percentage that are mean, I would say.
Because there's got to be a group of people that are just there because they're just there, so they're going to mess with anybody.
That's the majority of them. I would say we had a maximum capacity of about 250 on average. We had the restricted housing unit, which was the lockdown, 23 hours a day. That housed 12 inmates, and that was full year round. So,
and is that like you're good so you can come out, or is it like your whole sentence is in there?
Well, the way you get in there is by doing something pretty severe. Then you would go
like temporary thing. You're going in the hold for a while.
It depends on what you did. You would go to what we call kangaroo court, where they would go meet with counselors. Counselors would review the report from the corrections officer that had the issue with the inmate. Then the inmate would have the opportunity to say his piece. If he felt that there was any witnesses that the counselors could talk to, he could say, talk to this person, that person, or this person. So it was a thorough process, but then normally it was, well, you got into a fight, you broke another inmate's face, you're getting 6 months in the hole.
Okay, so then the original question, though, what percentage of all of them together is mean versus not mean?
I would say 10%.
10% of them are like the ones that are always looking to cause trouble. If you sit near me, I'm going to kill you type of stuff. And then 90% of them are just like
to that extreme. No. I'm just talking like saying 10% could end up in the hole at any time.
No, I'm just talking like if you
But
go
if
to
you're talking
walk around,
like-
like how many of them are troublemakers versus how many of them are going to leave you alone?
I would say probably, oh shoot, 2 or 3% at that point
What do you mean? 2-3% or what? Which side?
are like the hardcore troublemakers.
Okay,
Most
so
of them-
basically
Most of
90
them are there just to do their time and get out.
easily 90% of people in jail are just like, leave me alone. I'm going to do my time. Leave me alone. I'm going to sit here or like hang out and play chess with you while we're doing our time. But they're not there to like be in a gang or like smuggle cigarettes or heroin up your butt or something weird.
In my experience at the county level. But once you get into the state level, it's a whole different ball game.
All right. Well, I don't really feel like having
because those are typically people that have done more heinous things. And I shouldn't say that because you got a lot of people that are doing time for drugs.
But they're there longer. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They're there for like years instead of weeks or something, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, like I said, unless you guys really want to talk about prisons and shit, I don't need to talk about prisons on Cyber Monday. We got a full moon that should be, or not a full moon, but a full moon that's getting eclipsed. So we can keep chatting, but if we do, I'm going to mute and go outside and look at my moon. Or we could end it. We got new people showing up out there. Of course, you're welcome to join in. We throw links out there because this is a discussion, not a show. It's not, I guess it's called the Daily Gun Show, but that's because gun shows has nothing to do with this being a presentation. So this is, I should call it the Daily Gun Show conversation because that's what it's all about. So thanks to you guys for jumping in. I'm going to mute and go look at the moon. If you guys want to end it, we can do that. Or if you want to keep chatting about something, let me.
Well, Woods, you're on the West Coast, so why don't you kick off with something? And Barbecue, you've been on for the mic for a while now. I, like G, I'm going to go take a look at my moon. So back in a flash, folks.
So going back to staging guns there, Woods, I'm a big proponent of it.
Yeah, I mean, I want to be real clear. I don't have any children that live in my house. I don't have any grandkids. No little children come to my house. If children come to my house, I may rethink that, but today they don't do that.
Yeah. And like right now, I'm not doing it because I've got my 2-year-old. I've also got 9 and 7-year-old. But like growing up when I was a kid, I knew where the guns were, but I also knew that under no circumstances was I supposed to touch them unless my life was in some sort of grave danger.
Yeah, and even then, it better be really good.
Yes.
Yeah,
like that.
First off, fake eclipse. There's no eclipse of the moon right now. The full moon is out there. But when I was a kid, they were around, and here's where they are, and you know how to use it, right? And when, like, it was not just like never touch them.
100%. And that's the what I'm instilling in my children. People kind of look at me funny because I can easily tell my kids, hey, go get the keys to my gun cabinet and I need you to go grab this out of it for me, please. And they're like, oh, is that safe? I'm like, yeah, 100%. Not only is it safe, but my kids know how to safety check the firearm, and they know the firearm safety rules. And it's like, I honestly trust them more with a firearm than some adults that I've encountered. Watch this. And we go about it, but like I said, with a 2-year-old right now, he does not understand at all. So staging firearms at this point is not happening. But once he gets a little bit older, starts grasping and understanding, and we start going through, I kind of call them gun pop quizzes with my kids. If I've got one out, whether I'm cleaning it, working on it, whatever it is, I'll call the kids over, say, hey, come here. I'll ask them, where's the safety on this? Where's this? Where's that? What are the firearm safety rules? What are we going to, and, just kind of always put that refresher in their head. So once I can start doing that with him, I'll consider staging firearms again. But until then, it's a no-go.
I really like how you taught you've taught your kids that a gun is just a tool. Like a lot of our parents, raised, like when I was a kid, my dad would be like, "Go get this big ass wrench or whatever," and I wasn't that old. And I knew I have to step on something to go get the wrench for him. So essentially, you're saying the same thing, right?
Yeah. Like they know, unless I give them permission or whatnot, they are under no circumstances supposed to touch a firearm, unless something was happening where they're in danger, something like that, and nobody's around. Which I tell them that's not going to happen because Daddy's always home. But if for some reason I wasn't home and somebody was breaking in, and it'd be pretty extenuating circumstances. But like She Web said too, they also know how to use it. They know, like I said, they know where the safeties are, things like that. And like my lemon squeezer that I have, I was trying to mess with them. I was like, "So where's the safety?" And so they're checking it out, and my oldest daughter, she's like, "There isn't one," and my youngest daughter, which is my middle child, she's like, "Yes, there is. It's this one on the grid." I was like, "What's it called?" She's like, "It's a great shot."
You got eaten by robots again.
What is this? And she said it's a karate chop.
So here's an interesting question. When I was a kid, I knew my dad had guns in his closet, and then later when I'm going to say 12 maybe, when I got my first 20 gauge shotgun, I kept my 20 gauge shotgun in my closet.
Yeah, I know.
When I was a kid, I was a kid. I mean, I didn't have to go ask any adults about where my shotgun was. My shotgun, but I never would dream of using it against my friends or being weird with it. It was just a thing that sat in my closet.
I think it's same as you weren't going to take your skis and go clobber somebody, and you were going to take your tennis racket and beat a dog to death, right?
Yeah.
So,
so.
And the thing is, I can remember for a while there where I would be like, I want to play with my shotgun, or I want to clean my shotgun. I don't know if I would say play with it. I'd be like, I want to go do something with my shotgun, though, right? And you're like, all right. And then after a while, it's like, I'm going to not put it in the safe anymore because I'm not going to give you the combo to the safe. Actually, I did, but it's like, I don't want you going in the safe all the time. It's just no point. Keep your shotgun in your closet. And it's like, okay, I'm going to keep it in my closet. Because basically it was a pain in the ass to have to go get it. Because the other thing was that it was never up front in the safe, right? It was, my gun was in the freaking back. So it was a stupid little shotgun. But I don't know. I mean, that's just, I watch Lone Ranger movies or TV shows, I guess. And it ain't no thing for a kid to run out. And Lone Ranger is basically documentary. A little kid would run out and shoot
Rifleman
all the time.
Rifleman's son carried guns all the time.
Yeah. At the time, it was oh, you gotta, what do you got going on in your thing there? Some sort of a boat thing? If you live near water, your kid can get in a boat and go wherever. And if you got a motor, guess what? The kid can get in a motorboat and go wherever. And if you got a paddle boat, guess what? He can paddle wherever. If you got a gun, then yeah, the kid can use a gun. Imagine if there's some place that has archery, the kid could have his own bow and has arrows around it.
How do we survive? Jeez.
I don't know, because I remember, I think it was, as you were saying, I don't ever remember really, there was no big elaborate, here, don't, blah, blah, blah. It was more you just knew that if you were screwing around, then you were going to lose the privilege or lose the whatever for some amount of time or forever. And it's I want to go shooting. And I want to go shooting more than I want to do whatever dumbass shit would get. Nothing ever came to mind. There was other stuff to do, I guess. Maybe that's the other thing. It's not there was either screw around or have the gun locked up. There was a million other things to do. So screwing around with a gun never even came up. But at the same time, if somebody was to break in,
guns. Did you actually get grounded from your guns?
I wouldn't be able to go shooting if I got bad grades or some shit. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Right on.
I mean, it's just like anything else. If you're whatever getting in trouble or going to take away privileges, going shooting ain't some kind of right when you're 10.
Was that more that, like, when I was a kid and I was in trouble, it just, if it was fun, I couldn't do it. Guns were just on.
I mean, yeah. If I wanted, I could. If I liked mowing lawn, I wouldn't have been able to I wouldn't have been able to mow lawn either. I hated it, so they made me, but it just happened to like it. So no way was I going to do it without trouble. I got in trouble occasionally. Been in trouble.
But gee, you weren't really a troublemaker when you were a kid, though, right?
Well, who said that?
I'd also like to add a little caveat.
Trouble exists, and if you're moving around in the world,
It'll
either going to find it or it's going to find you, or else you could sit somewhere that's comfortable and doesn't have trouble. I guess is that life worth living? You saying something?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd like to add a little caveat. If anybody's listening to me like, oh, barbecue's doing that with his kids, you got to know your child's maturity level. But I think that maturity level also comes with education.
For sure. Kids are different. All of them.
All right. Well, so we had like a bunch of people show up for the beginning of the show because of probably the Cyber Monday Wolverine extravaganza. And then I was a troublemaker. Let's say I was a trouble ender. Trouble existed, and then something has to end it. So I would appreciate the $5. I'll definitely put that to good use, paying bills off. But a bunch of people showed up probably for Cyber Monday Wolverine extravaganza that we had. If you are one of the people that showed up earlier, or if you're one of those numbers out there and you're someone who showed up recently and we just can't tell because all we see is how many people are here right now, not when you came or when you left or anything, then you're looking for free patches, say something so that we don't end the show without you getting a chance to grab some. But thanks if you are out there. But that's what I was going to say. I don't really know. We had 14 people start out the thing. We got 7 now. I've seen it kind of go up and down. I'm not about ratings. I don't really care about how many people are here, but it's a way to indicate, if the conversation isn't happening and there's a lot of people, then I know everybody's just sitting there listening to us, which is fine, I guess. It's just not my goal is to have a conversation here. So right now, it's 7 people. I don't know if that's 7 people that have been here the whole night or if, everyone's left and this is a new herd of people, which is, not good or bad, but just curious. So let us know. Like I say, there's 2-hour mark. We could end it. I got my heater going here, so I'm not freezing to death. I'm not asleep. I'm not wide awake. So I'm down for either ending it or going.
Right on. Well, it's 1:11 on 12/1. We're now in December, guys. So happy December.
You're in the future, though.
Oh, yeah, for you. Oh, we'll just have to go back to the future. No, it's like in the 20s out here right now anyway. So, but I do want to.
Who wants the water numbers?
Yeah. Right on. I did want to mention
that. Don't shoot above, how was it, like the bushes or something? Like I could shoot down, but I wasn't supposed to shoot up. And I wasn't supposed to shoot like birds and squirrels and shit. I'm just replying to Garrett's thing there. Go ahead. Oh, I thought you were saying something.
So even though we passed into what for some of us is the tomorrow part of Tuesday, last night when we started in music history in 1955, Billy Idol was born. I had no idea Bro was 75 years old. I saw them 2 years ago in concert. And check this out. This set up an epoch. 1982, Michael Jackson's Thriller was released. The other night we were talking about Pink Floyd, and in 1979, The Wall was released in History Yesterday. So, yeah, Billy Idol, Michael Jackson, and Pink Floyd.
Was that like a? Well, I wonder if that was that like a Black Friday thing, or was music released in some sort of seasonal thing, like the way movies, like they'll have blockbuster movies and they'll have Christmas movies, like they'll release them at certain times. Was music like that?
It's usually a day of the week. So I don't, without referencing a calendar in the 50s, 70s, or 80s, I won't know what day of the week it is, and it has shifted. It has been both Tuesdays and Fridays for new releases.
But I'm saying, like, do they do that coincide with like Black Friday or Thanksgiving? Because that could be why a bunch of big albums on Black Friday.
Yeah, absolutely for the Christmas run. But Black Friday wasn't a thing when we were kids. It wasn't in the 80s. The post Thanksgiving sales were weeks away for the most part. At least that was my experience. But yeah, record store drops are Tuesdays or Fridays, and in contemporary times, there's a record store day at least twice, if not 3 times a year now, and that's the opportunity for labels to do a lot of vinyl releases, and like limited runs, exclusives, that sort of thing. And the second one of those this year, I guess it is 2, was just a week or so ago.
Well, silence right now. And even more after it's been pointed at.
I didn't mean to shut it down.
No, it's just that time of night, I think. So we can hit the 2A or 2 hours for 2A and call it a night. It is Monday. I think it feels like a Friday because of all the free patching that has been going on and all the Cyber Monday purchasing that's been going on. I think it feels like a free patch Friday. Our free patch Friday was 2 orders, so I do appreciate the people that jumped in on the Cyber Monday. I really didn't push it. I tried to leave Cyber Monday. No, I tried to leave Black Friday to the stores and certainly send people to gun shops for the Small Business Saturday, but I had no idea, prepared for this one for a while. Like I say, I prepped for this one more than normal. A lot of times I'm on the road this time of year. The government policy conference happens this time of year. And often if it's somewhere else, then I don't like just driving straight to a place and back. That's not economical. So I usually drive to it and mosey home, or mosey to it and drive home. Usually drive straight to it and mosey home. So a lot of times I'm on the road at this time of year and miss this opportunity. So thanks to the people that sort of didn't really cash in, but I certainly was the recipient of a bunch of medium to large purchases, and I do appreciate that very much. I've got quite a few bills from from the years of driving around and doing things wrong. I don't have sponsors, and I don't try to do this to some end that creates a lot of audience that gives other opportunities for funding. I've been trying to go with the crowdfunding for a couple of reasons. One, I think it's the most fun. It lets us be the most authentic and real. We don't have to emulate anything. We don't have to I don't have to build anything that leads up to some ultimate sale or some ultimate end financially. We can not wander, but we can go with intent in the direction of awareness for 2A. And that's why I'm okay with these little conversations that wander a little bit, but I certainly look forward to a thirst for having, the kind of conversations where the crews that jump into this show, get in here and we start talking 2A. I don't want to do that in defense, right? We have enough people. They have great potential. We could have some really good conversations to create some strategies for prevention, and we'll try to figure out a way without too much structure how to create that to happen or whatever potentially going forward. But anyway, I do appreciate the people that started wandering there, that participated today in purchasing stuff at the store. Like I say, it gives me a chance to stay afloat. I'm still treading water. It's not by any means a life preserver or any kind of rest. I'm still treading. I'm not going to joke around. I'm definitely in debt, but this allows me to at least stay in this direction and not abandon this kind of efforts completely. It's not dire, but without Patreon, I'd have been gone a long time ago. So I know a lot of the people that participate and might be listening to this are Patreon. So hopefully you got a chance to participate in the Wolverine things. Probably will allow you to continue that sale in case anybody just didn't get a chance to jump on today. I guess I didn't promote this ahead of time. I didn't let people know, hey, save a bunch of money for the store. That's not really my goal. Like I say, I like the crowdfunding because it allows me to do this. It does basically, just get me to where, by selling off a few things. In the past, I've been able to sell guns. That's a lot easier when I can make a couple $100 here and there selling a gun without any guns. That's tougher. But still, I have stuff I can sell every once in a while that makes it possible to do all this. So for basically doing eBay, I'm able to do 2A full time, and I appreciate that. So thanks to y'all for making that possible. And hopefully we're doing it not just for the sake of doing it, but instead with direction. And like I say, although this show doesn't have a schedule or a script, I guess, or some kind of plan other than to have a place for conversation, every single other thing I do has a goal and a direction and an intent. And that is to stop the Groundhog's Day for 2A, right? We don't need to keep having generations of people. We don't need to have waves of people join the fight, get frustrated and leave, and only barely bounce back. You've seen the people, if you've been in here long enough, you've seen people bounce back. They take a look around and they go back to their lives. They use this as a barometer or some sort of indicator. These conversations, you'll see them in this chat and not in this chat very often, but in other chats, you'll see these people bounce in if you pay attention. And the only reason I know it is because I knew them. They were good friends, years ago, and they've left. And they monitor what's happening, but the fight, although it's in their blood, it's not in their brain because they know that there's, they've not found what they sought after, and that's frustrating. Knowing that there's valid legions of people that have resources that are ultimate compared to Bloomberg's fucking money, which is nothing. And seeing those people come and go over the years, the intent of our projects is to keep people on board with the knowledge that it isn't just one time and you're done. You can stick around and it can be something that is incremental, and just like a lot of things, you don't get immediate success. You don't cross the finish line. So anyway, the projects that we're working on don't have any kind of gravy on them. They don't have any kind of whipped topping. I can't market them. Nobody's sponsoring them. 185, we lost 2 Patreons this month, but 185 of you make this all possible. So the show is for y'all. I don't know how many of y'all are listening. The rest of you are just leeching off of them because they're the ones paying for it. But that's what it's about, so that this can all exist. We're putting this on platforms that accumulate. Nothing here is hidden. You don't see us on any of these bullshit underground platforms where people are weird and can flake off because they know nothing's accumulating. Everything we do might be fun and useless once in a while, but it's accumulating so that we can all stand on it next time we need to and be above water, so that we can take our kids and throw them onto dry land so that they don't have to even experience this shit, if we ever have to get to that part. But I'm wandering. I guess we're done. So that's 2 hours something for 2A. Nobody said anything in all this time, but I'm waiting for Garrett to keep throwing in money. I do appreciate the $20. Like I say, that'll be used for Actually, quite a few meals this week. We'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for watching.